Hey, what up guys, this is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Doctor Strange version from No Way Home, which is basically your average Doctor Strange, but it's like one of the best looking Marvel Legends figures in a very long time. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on here. There are, of course, some limitations that may be a problem for some of you, but all in all, this thing is solid in a lot of ways, and we have some stuff to talk about. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands about 16.5 centimeters, which makes him pretty close to, let's just say just shy of 6.5 inches. And it is a fantastic looking figure, which isn't surprising. Most of the MCU figures get a little extra love and care, it seems. But before we talk about the figure, let's do a quick question of the day. I've been getting a lot of mixed responses. I still haven't seen the movie Spider-Man No Way Home. Let me know what you thought about it. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it worth watching? Or maybe you think it was bad, but you still enjoyed it. Or maybe you think it was a good movie technically, but you didn't really care for it. Let me know how you guys feel about that. Maybe I'll eventually get around to seeing it. Okay, so let's talk about the aesthetics on this guy. It looks really good. Obviously, lots of digital sculpting on here. We have tons of textures, tons of little tiny details, cloth work, belts, paint to go with it, which is really nice, but even just the basic shapes are very, very well textured. Wrinkles and things. It's very nicely done. We even have all kinds of different paint on the wrist wraps. Very nicely sculpted, very nicely painted throughout. It almost looks like there's a wash going on up here. I can't say for sure. It might just be actual natural shadows because it's such a dark color. It's hard to say. I don't know. But either way, it looks really good. You can see on the cape, again, we have extra details up here by where the clasps would be. His necklace is really well done. The face, it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. And to the naked eye, when you're not zoomed in real tight with a camera, it looks really good. The sculpt is good. The paints are definitely good enough. The mouth looks a little bit weird, but it is a good likeness, especially from certain angles. It looks really, really nice. Great sculpt all the way around. The cape has detail throughout the back. This thing is wonderful looking. They even have the little details on the fingers for his scars. So, aesthetics, 9.9 out of 10. Could be a touch better, like the mouth looks a little weird. They got a little bit carried away with the paint, but if that's the only thing I'm really coming up with, then that's saying something. It looks good. Yes, I would put a wash all over everything for something like this, just to bring it to life, just a little bit, but still, it's fine. It looks really good, and then it's textured on the inside too. I didn't mention that, so very, very good looking figure. As far as accessories go, we do have the two Mystic open hands that come on in the package. We get two pinchy hands. I don't know what those are for exactly. I don't know. And then we get two of the Jutsu hands, which are really nicely done. We have the magic effect obviously connected to them, and that looks great, and I can't imagine anybody posing this guy without using these. They're very, very cool. The translucent yellow is good. I couldn't be happier with those accessories, so that's wonderful. I like that. I'm guessing he didn't use the eye in the movie. Maybe he did. I don't know. But yeah, we have no effect part or anything like that for the necklace, but I think the hands are enough. So I'm going to go 9 out of 10 for accessories also. So, well, not also, because there's a 9.9. You get it. It's good. You could call the cape an accessory if you want, but who doesn't want the cape on him? So we're going to say it belongs on him, but you can count it if you like. Okay, same thing with the necklace. We're going to remove those, though, for the articulation section. He does have a double ball peg for the neck, but still really, really limited range. Can I pop it off easily? Easily enough. Like, look at that. Why? Don't do it. Don't do that. Look at that. There's no room for it to move. It is almost completely immobile. There really couldn't be less room in there unless they were trying to make it not function. Why is that like that? There's no reason for that, but it's like that. So you get no range really from that bottom ball peg. So it's just a single ball peg, which means you actually get worse range, which is not good. That's not how they're supposed to do that. It's almost like they could hire a consultant for things like that, and it would be much better. But yeah, you get limited range, but what you do get is nuanced because of the double ball pegs. You get a little bit there, so that's good. For the shoulders, you can get up to horizontal, so that's pretty fine. I like that. You do get your full rotation. Of course, his vest is slightly V-shaped, so that will affect it, but that's reasonable, so that's fine. Double jointed elbow works fine. You saw the bicep swivel works fine. So yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you could get a little bit more out of that, but most humans don't bend their arms a complete 180 at the elbow anyway, so I think that's all right. For the wrists, you get your swivel and your hinge. That should be okay. Torso articulation is just a peg at the waist, which is going to be pretty minimal. So that really what I was getting at in the beginning is the articulation is the one downside to this figure. It definitely could be a lot better. And I will say, without the cape on, he does seem to have quite a long neck. Granted, he's a fairly long neck sort of fellow, so I guess that's alright. But throw the cape on there, it won't be noticeable. With the baggy clothes, it's alright. For the waist, you can't really get in there because this is very well encapsulating the waist and the hips. So you're not going to get much out of that. No waist twist, that's only going to be up here above the belt. And for the hips, it's standard Marvel Legends hips, but you really can't do anything with them. Like, there's not a lot. So don't even worry about it. You do get a thigh swivel in there, double jointed knees, but unless you bring them out this way, can't even get in there to move them. Unless you bring them out that way, it's not really going to be useful. So yeah, the legs are just about pointless on this guy. They might as well just be static, but they are there. Doesn't appear to be a boot swivel. It looks like it should. There we go. It was stuck. So we do get a boot swivel here, which I guess is fine. And then the ankles go pretty far forward with a little bit of force. That's really good. They go back nicely. You get a decent ankle rocker, but with that boot swivel, it's perfect. But you're just not really going to be able to use it because the skirt part of his tunic, or whatever you want to call it, just gets in the way. So it's not going to be the most posable thing ever, but it's going to look really good on the shelf. So articulation gets a 5 out of 10. It's passable, and that's about it. But it doesn't matter on this guy, I don't think. I don't think anybody's going to really worry about that. You're going to get it because it looks cool and you like the character design. So I'm going to give this guy a final verdict of 9 out of 10. It's a really strong release. They can't do too much more to make him more posable. And I think that's fine. For this character, it's acceptable. And they did get the aesthetic and the accessories down pretty well. So I'm going to recommend it for sure. It's a really strong release. It's MCU, so I don't personally care. But for those of you who are in it, it's one you should pick up. There it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.